that I'm really excited to actually make this happen. I wasn't sure there was going to be enough people signing up, and but eventually there were more sign-ups than I expected. I said that it's going to be about 15 to 20 people, and we have 21. So we beat that goal already. That's great. We have great attendance from past Silicon Valley, past SLP members. So Sankara is here, and Rama as well. Current, which is most of us. Future, which is some of us. And I think that also shows you the strong brand and that SLP has, and I think that's really, really great. I wanted to start by actually thanking, first of all, our host, which is Northeastern University, Silicon Valley Hub. This is their new hub, and they were very, very kind in letting us use it for the next two days. So please be respectful to the place and appreciate this cool, really, really cool space that they gave us with the most high-tech facility that I can think of. And also Think 3 Logics, which is Satish's company, who kindly sponsored this event and helped us with funding some of the cool stuff that we're actually using. And I think this is really, really great. Satish's his company is an IT solution consultancy, correct me if I'm wrong, that offers expertise in mobility, enterprise mobility, cloud services, and software development. And I think we all should appreciate the sponsorship, and also go and talk to Satish and see how his service can help our startups, your startups, to actually get forward and launch. I don't know why I lost this. That's what my wife wanted to eat yesterday. Great. Okay. So what are we here for? Our goal, as you all know, is to try to get from 0 to as close as we can to an MVP. I will insist to actually delivering it, because I think if we prioritize it correctly, we have enough manpower here to actually make it happen. And we have about 16 hours to do it. So from now until 5 o'clock tomorrow, we could have some more if you want to stay and work during the night. That's usually what people do if they really want to make it happen, and that's going to be your real test. But basically, by tomorrow at 5 p.m., I want to see some results. Okay, and this is the mindset you need to come in to this workshop. If you're not in this mindset, get into it. Okay, we're really here to learn. Sorry, to work, not to learn. The learnings will come, but only if we work very, very hard and diligently and prioritize our time correctly. This is very much achievable. What we want to get is a deliverable that is an MVP that can test assumptions, which we can test the validity and the viability of a product. Okay, I'm going to pitch you the product in a second in 2 slides, but I want you to build a product. Think about it. What product do you need to build? How do you need to build it? What would be the minimum set of features that would actually give you an idea if this is a good or a bad product to continue developing? Okay. The deliverable on the actionable side of things that I want to see in the next by tomorrow is an MVP. Okay. I want to see a mobile app working. Okay. I'm kind of pushing you to go towards mobile first. I'm not 100% locked on that, but you have to have a good enough reason not to go mobile first with the product that I'm going to pitch to you. It's going to be either Android or iOS. I'm going to leave it up to you. I think iOS would be the right way to go, but you guys, you can decide differently if you have good enough reason to do that. I want to have either a landing page or a website that kind of is the face of the company if people actually look us up. And I want to have a 12 to 15 slide pitch deck. Okay. that would pitch the business to investors. Okay? And the reason I want this is because this process will actually walk you through the whole business planning process. Okay? I think this is a very good bottom line summary on how to actually build your company and product, and it will cover most of the topics you need in order to actually build a company. The schedule today, we're starting right now on time, which is great. We're going to start, I hope, at 10:30, maybe a few minutes later, depending on how quickly I talk and how few questions you have. Lunch is going to be arriving at around 12 o'clock, so it's going to be a working lunch, so you can eat it and continue working. I want to have some sort of initial get-together at 12:30 to see what you guys brainstormed and what you guys came up with and how you understand the product, and make sure that we're all on the same page. So basically, all the teams are going to come in. The strategy team is going to lead that sort of, is going to aggregate all the information from the marketing, the UX, the development team, and us. And we're going to kind of walk through how we see the development of the process in order to get all the teams on the same page. After that, we're going to run through and finish the day by 5 o'clock. We're going to have some sort of a team lead meeting, okay? Again, at the end of the day, it's not going to be affecting everyone, so everyone can actually work, most of us can actually work until 5, 6, 7, until what time you want to work today. 10, 12, okay, it's okay by me. Tomorrow, same thing, we're going to start early, okay? It's not going to be a gathering like today and wait another hour for everyone to come in. We're going to start immediately. If you want to come in earlier, I'll try and be here earlier, depending on my wife, my son actually. If we need, we do a briefing. That's not a must. Lunch, same thing. 3:30, we're going to start getting everything together. And the way I want this to conclude is, first of all, I want to start with the 12-deck pitch or 15-deck pitch. Okay, it's going to be kind of the end goal of the sort of the presentation, the final presentation of what you developed, with a demo of the product itself. Okay, and after we finish that, all the teams are going to come together and sort of talk about, and I want this to be a very, very short summary of the process you went through. Okay, so the strategy team is going to say, okay, what challenges did we have? How did we decide to solve it? What was the logic behind our approach? To, competitive analysis, because the pitch is not going to cover all of that. Same for all the other teams: marketing, UX, UI, and development. We're going to have a summary questions. If you want to have, kind of open debate about what we had here and what we learned, and we're going to finish by 5 o'clock. So let's talk about the product for a minute. So what problem are we here to solve? As you all know, or not sure, we're kind of, the idea that I pitched you is to create a marketplace for excess toddler food. Okay, so parents who, I don't know, who has kids here? I mean, okay, so you all kind of been through the situation where you're at home, the kid just woke up, you play with him, and suddenly he's hungry. Now you need to create food, to prepare some food for him, and he's crying, and everything is like very stressful. You prepare something, he eats 2 bites of it, and keeps on playing, and now you got to throw it away, and you spend like half an hour, 20 minutes cooking it. Okay, and wouldn't it be really, really cool if we could do that? And if we have excess food, give our neighbor, so she wouldn't have to cook and spend those stressful situation on it, and she could do the same thing for us. So we create this marketplace where excess food for kids, toddlers and babies, can be shared within a close community to save time and money for everyone. So moms struggle with keeping up with cooking needs of their toddlers. Time and food is wasted while frustration builds up for those parents. And where is the sharing economy when you really need it, right? So the sharing economy is actually here, and our cool name is a marketplace for sharing and exchanging toddler food between parents who want to save time and money while not sacrificing the quality and freshness of food that they serve their toddlers. Okay, cool, cook, share, relax. That's sort of my short pitch on the idea, and it's not perfect. Okay, it's probably not the idea that everyone here would have gone with, but the reason I chose that is because I think first of all, the customer is very easily defined. The market is easily defined. There are a lot of ways where the strategy team can play with it, and I think it has all the elements of figuring out how to get a product out there. It's not an easy product to play with. It's a marketplace. So there's a challenge of bringing in people from both sides and how we can actually make it. There's a development challenge here, but it could be something that is very, very educational for all of us. Okay, so I know not all of you will connect to that idea, but do the best you can, and that's what it is. Okay. The organizational structure that we've covered last time, I'm going to go over it again. The logic behind it is there are two groups, okay? The product group and the business group. The product group is going to be divided into the development team, which is actually going to code everything, and the UX UI team. The business group is going to be comprised of the marketing and strategy team, okay? Overlapping everything or encapsulating everything is going to be the ops team, which is going to be comprised of me, Rama, Ilker, and we're going to basically facilitate the entire process, make sure everything's on track, keep you synced with all the other teams, and kind of we're going to look at it from the 50,000 feet point of view, making sure that everything is working and progressing towards the end goal. Now I'm going to dive a bit into the actual teams and kind of give them an initial briefing on how I think, what I think they should focus on. So development team, perfect. Ilker is going to work with you and be sort of the ops representative of the development team. We're going to start off with a skill assessment. This is kind of a very crucial step if you actually want to build a product. If you don't have the right skills, then we need to find the balance between what skills we have, what we can do, and this is kind of going to start the process with. You're going to start the process with map out and break down the deliverables. Okay, think about what you need. If you need to have the UX UI team with you on that point, that's great. Talk about it. See what's realistic. Okay, and then break it down and think about how you're going to actually work around it. And consider the website and mobile interactions. Okay, don't aim too low. Okay, I really want to have something with substance in it. Okay, it's very easy. I know you will be able to make something work if you aim very low, but that won't necessarily be an MVP. Okay, so think about what the bar is. Core functionality has to be ready by tomorrow. Okay, it is realistic. I've seen it happen before, and I know the quality and the caliber of the developers that we have now here. It is realistic. Work closely with the UI and UX team to make sure that you're in line with the development. Okay, so this is going to be an iterative process where the marketing is going to, come up with some customer, and the UX UI team is going to try to appeal to them, and he's going to build some sort of a experience or flow or interaction, which then has to translate into the app. You guys have to be quick enough to be able to match those needs while maintaining the other guys in check and not letting them run off and build, the next Facebook. So make sure you work closely with those guys. I prefer if you sit closely as well. Mobile app, consider what your strengths are. If you think strength versus the customer, if you think an iOS app would be good, go with it. If you think an Android app is it, do Android. But think about the customer fit, okay? I know this company that developed a very, very cool platform that works for iOS, but it's a marketplace, and apparently the other side usually has Android. That's sort of the demographic breakdown of it. So the majority have Android, and what happens is it's hard to read the test. Okay, you have to do it offline. You have to find workarounds. So maybe this is something you should consider, not only the skills that you have, but also what the customer needs and how you validate the MVP and how you actually meet the goal. The core features that I would want within the app, okay, and this is kind of how I see it, but you can play with it, but it's a good place to start, is to have two sides, the sellers, the moms that actually want to post their excess food. They can sign up, they can set up a profile with pictures, address, contact info, anything you think relevant in the profile. Post up a dish, okay, or the food that they want to share, and add some dish info. Okay, that's sort of the seller side. The buyer side has exactly the opposite. Sign up, set up a profile, browse the dishes, choose a dish, and rate it. And once the circle is complete, the dish goes off the market, okay, because it's a one-time thing. So this is sort of the main, I would say, my understanding of how I see the MVP, but play with it, see if it fits, see if you agree with it. If not, change it. If you do, you can supplement it and work with it. Nice to have features, map, groups, chat, advanced filtering options, whatever you have time for. I hope you do. UX UI team, so we have, and we're going to also have exactly, she's going to work with you, and that's great. So develop the look, feel, and experience of the app, okay? Basically, the user experience and user interface, okay? Start with the experience you want to have. Think about who you're targeting the app, okay? Moms, okay? Don't make a black app that has, you know, very high-tech stuff in it. Make it pink, I don't know, or something like that. Think about what resonates with them. For example, moms with little time, baby on one hand, low tolerance for clicks, questions, and lag. So, you know, my wife, if you have more than 3 clicks in an app, she won't use it, okay? Even if it's going to save her life, okay? That's just, she doesn't like it. It annoys her. So think about those things and make sure you convey them to the marketing team and to the development team. And use user stories. Okay, user stories are very, very effective tools to actually build features or map out the features, which a user story, if you don't know what it is, it's kind of saying, as a user, say, seller, I want to post a dish so that I can, I don't know, take place and make a transaction. Okay, so this is kind of a very, very solid and direct and concise way to actually post a user story, and that kind of maps out the features. Use those. There's a link here that can help you if you want to, if all the other guys want to pitch in and see what that is. Work closely with the marketing development and use mock-up tools as much as possible to visualize how you see it, because the way you see it in your head doesn't necessarily mean you have other teams members that agree with you. Business, the marketing team. Okay, I'm moving to the other team. Marketing team.
Can I be in that team?
Sure.
I didn't have time.
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah,
thanks.
you earned the right. Okay, so customer segmentation. Okay, find out who your customer is. Everything starts with that. Okay, that's the most important thing. Who's your customer? What pain solutions, and also I think is important is what value, what has value. Okay, so if posting up a dish doesn't have value, then try to find what does have value. What will people pay for? What will they perceive worth spending their time in your app or your service for? Okay, this is, I think, the core question the marketing team needs to answer. Come up with a go-to-market strategy. Okay, and the go-to-market strategy is how you get your first customer. Okay, how you want to launch the app. I don't want to hear about how you're going to do it 10 years down the line. I want to hear who the first person is, how you're going to reach him, how you're going to sell it to him. Okay, that's the second most important thing the marketing has to do. Customer acquisition channels, map them out. Rama will showed me the other day something called the 19 traction list of 19 channels that are worth pursuing for getting tractions. I'll share the list later on. And also use the value proposition canvas. Okay, that I think the questions in there kind of cover a lot of that's a perfect framework to cover all the questions that a marketing team needs to get started. And I would also want you to cover the branding, okay, which means the name of the brand, come up with an idea for a logo, and brand book would probably be a bit too much. Strategy team, most of you guys. Okay, not too much. Market research, okay. What's the market size? Where things? What's worth pursuing? Is it a big product? Is it working in a market that is congested with competitors? Are there high barriers, low barriers? Try to get a feel of who the competitors are. I mapped one, which I found quickly. It's called Oliox, whatever. It's not necessarily targeted at the same demographics that we're targeting, but it's sort of the same concept. Okay, so it would be a good place for all the teams to actually look into, see what they're doing, and start benchmarking yourself against them. Business model. Okay, it's a marketplace. How do you build a business model? How do you monetize on a marketplace? Is it right to go the freemium way? Maybe use advertising. I don't know. Think about it and how you're going to monetize on that. Be focused. Okay, I don't want to see 20 monetization options. Okay, go into one. Okay, choose one and the best one you have. Product roadmap. Map it out short term, long term, the way you see it. Financials. I want you to map out the assumptions that you have when you do all these. Okay, so we assume that a customer is going to have I don't know, lifetime value of like this. We assume that the cost of acquisitions are going to be like that. So map out the assumptions and then have a model, financial model that is robust enough that you can change those assumptions once you test them and you see that they're not correct. And you're in charge of the pitch deck. Okay, I kind of put in my template that I like to see in pitch decks. Okay, it's a 12 to 15 slide pitch deck, and this is I think the standard of what people expect. You can play with it, but I would not recommend going off template. Okay, that is very difficult for investors to actually perceive if you go off template. Okay, because they see so many decks, and you need another 20 seconds to process each slide if it's not in order, and it's just annoying. So use this. You have the deck, so I'm moving forward. The ops team. Okay, so I said Tommy, Rama, and Ilker. I'm going to be working with the marketing team and strategy team, and cover for Rama. Rama is going to start off with strategy team and probably somewhere in the middle of the day just go home and rest. And Ilker is going to work with the development team. He's ordered not to put 100% of his time into coding, so don't overuse him. Okay, give him at least 5% of the time to keep an open head.
Yeah, 5% is okay.
5%. Okay, we're going to manage and coordinate everything. If there are any decision-making processes or any decisions that need to be made about the product, so the development team has some disagreement on UX, we're going to solve. Okay, we're kind of the C-level of the company. Okay, so and we're going to mentor you as much as we can. I've been asked to put in some tools, so these are the tools that I love and use. I actually have, I know way more tools, but I think these tools are kind of the summary of what I have. And I highlighted the ones that I really, really like. So I'm going to quickly go over. Proto.io is a prototyping app for mobile. And I contacted those guys. They're a really, really cool company. They gave us 60-day free. They usually give 15, so we have a 15, 60-day free access there. Trello is a great card. How do you explain Trello? It's Kanban, yeah, but not a lot of people know what Kanban is. So have a look at it. It's good for managing tasks and also developing user scenarios. Okay, if you're interested on how I use it, I'd be happy to share it. Import.io is a great scraping tool, no coding needed, very, very powerful. Wix is for website, building websites. Ray did a great job. Sent me the other day a landing page for an idea he had. So if you want to ask Ray how to work and maybe show his website, I really recommend it. Adobe Comp, not a lot of people know that, but that's an iPad app which you can mock up websites, mobile apps, whatever, by just drawing on it, and it's an amazing tool. Okay, if you want to build a website, a blog, or an app, or whatever, check this out. You need an iPad for that, but this is very, very recommended. I love it. Sketch is Photoshop for non-Photoshop users. Envision app is like Pro.io, but for websites. Canva is, so presentations, cards like that. It's pretty easy. Also, Fiverr, so $5 for every gig you want. Very powerful. Logo, branding, financials, whatever, everything is $5. Sketch deck. Once you finish a deck, these guys, they make amazing decks that's worth looking into. Google, you know, Dropbox, you know. Business Model app is the business model canvas from Osterwalder, but an app that helps you do the sticky notes. If you like doing it on an iPad, that's worth it. Strategizer is the resource of business model generation. A lot of cool stuff out there, okay, on the website, worth checking out. Evernote, my favorite. I use it a lot for note-taking. Slack, you know. A/B testing and Instapage are very, very powerful tools to A/B test a website or concept. So a marketing team should definitely consider having that set up if they want. Wunderlist for task management, and another one of my favorites is the 3030 iPad app. I recommend everyone download this app right now. This is a timekeeping app where you put in a list of tasks and it just gives you 30 minutes to do each task. And if you want to get 5 minutes more, it will give you 5 minutes more or 1 minute more. But basically, this is very, very powerful timekeeping app. If you want to be productive, use this. Okay. The best thing about it is it just locks your iPad so you cannot play and do all the other stuff. Okay, so I'm getting to the end, so hold on. A few admins. So network, everybody connected to the Wi-Fi? Great. Printers. We have printers here. I don't know if we need them. You need to directly connect through IP to the printers. It's 1030.17.17. Shouldn't be difficult to remember. I sent you all the decks, so you don't need to take pictures unless you really want to. If you have any questions and you can't find me, that's my number. Restrooms are over there. We are only allowed to be in this area, okay? IDT are pretty strict about security, so please don't go wandering into the IDT space and don't go into the doors that are past the restrooms, okay? These are lead into the IDT building, and they just gave me like a 20-minute lecture yesterday about why we shouldn't go through that door. So don't go. There are monitors and screens and projectors in the common room, so use them. Okay, if you want to collaborate or work on a big screen, I'll show you where the projectors and the screens are, and just connect into it. And it's really, really nice. I like this place. Food. Please be mindful of the carpet. Okay, food's going to be here. It would just be embarrassing for me to say, oh, I'm sorry, you know, and if we spill coffee or something like that. So just be mindful for that. And there's a kitchen over there which has coffee, basically coffee. You can use the Keurig machine. I bought some cups for us. Don't use they have the Kirklands, so I bought something better for us. Don't use their cups, use ours. Cups and capsules for the Keurig machine. And most important thing is don't turn off this box. It has a power button here. Don't turn it off. That's the other 20 minutes that they gave me a lecture on this. Why not push this button? Okay, final guidelines. That's, I think, the last slide. I gave you all at the entrance a little notepad, okay? The goal of this notepad is to write down your learnings, okay? Anything you learn, you want to look into, you have worth remembering, okay? That's what this notepad is for. You can take it home and use it in real time. If it's not in real time, it's worthless, okay? And you won't believe how many thoughts you have that since you postpone the actual taking note of them, you lose. Okay, so since those 2 days are very, very congested, I think you say, this tool is just powerful, very powerful. Once you look it up, especially in the end of the week, write down all the things that you're going to present or think you're going to bring up at the end of the meeting. I'll remind you about the learning sessions that we have in the end. Execution is everything. Okay, so be 100% focused, prioritization. So I initially wrote there, manage your time not as adults. Okay, my wife said, why not as adults? I said, because adults say, I know better, don't worry, I can manage. I mean, that's not the way to go about it. Okay, if you need something done, say, can I do it? I should do it now. Put a time limit to it. Be accountable to yourself. So adults are not really accountable to themselves, especially not me. So be very, very focused and focus on execution. I think the best saying about it is the worst enemy of good is better. Okay, so keep that in mind. Use the pitch deck as a template and guide. Okay, not only for the strategy team, for all the other teams about what needs to be covered. Okay, the pitch deck should be a bottom line summary of your business plan. Okay, and business plans are not cool, but they're essential. And that's why everybody's moving to business plans in PowerPoints and not business plans in Word, because I think they're much more dynamic that way. But they have to be there. Okay, we are here not only to build a product. Okay, the product doesn't have any weight if it doesn't have a solid planning process behind it. Okay, so use that as your template and guide. Allocate enough time to brainstorm. Okay, but not too much time. Okay, use a 30-30 app for the brainstorming. Otherwise you just lose control. And don't assume, hypothesize and prove. Okay, that's the mindset you need to go into when you go into an MVP. You don't know everything. Okay, don't think that if you want to do something in a certain way, that means your user will do it. Okay, just write it down as an assumption. That's okay. That saves a lot of time about arguing about it, and then find a way how to prove it. And the most important thing is respect your team. Okay, we're all here working towards the same goal. We never worked together before, so be respectful. Okay, but keep in mind that we need to get things done and do it in a respectful way. Sponsors, okay? I started with them, I'm going to end with them. So think 3 Logics. Please talk to Satish about that. Very generous of him to sponsor us. And so please inquire and be interested. And Northeastern University, I sent you this deck so you can go and browse through that later on. And that's it. Any questions?
So do we have a balance across all the teams, or
sorry?
Do we have a balance across all of the teams, or I think?
Yeah. Thank you for reminding me. So we're going to do a few shifting. So Ashish is going to go to join the UX UI team. So it's going to double its size. Okay, and that's already good. We're here for doubling and multiples. So
I see the strategy team seems large. And
yeah.
Marketing, I would be happy to go to marketing.
Perfect. So marketing team right now, Lawi, Donna, Anupam, Tish, and Melanie.
I can do UX 99. That's all.
Yeah. I think actually the marketing team would need. Well, you know what? Let's start with the marketing team. Okay. I think 2 for UX UI is good enough for a start. If we'll see if you think guys that you need some backup, Melanie can help. Melanie is going to be with us only today, so keep that in mind. And development team, Great. Any other questions?
So I struggle between strategy and marketing. Where do you want me to stay?
Marketing team, hands up again.
Yeah.
Okay,
Six.
so strategy.
No.
I'd stay in strategy. That's
Yeah,
fine.
there, we got marketing team now became bigger than the strategy. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Is everything clear? Everybody know knows what to do?
So
Good.
there's one team, or
Yeah.
delivering one solution.
Yeah. Everybody's
Pitch.
working towards one product, one pitch, one everything. And choose your space wisely. Okay, you can stay here. You
So
can go
do you
out.
have a team lead for each of the group or kind
We'll
of?
start with,
Okay.
with the ops.
Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah.
And once the ops step out, we'll assign someone who the alpha male within the team or female.
Just in terms of learning, if you're on one team and you're interested in how the other team did something, how does that?
So we're gonna interact more than you
Okay.
think.
All right.
Okay, and they're not gonna be isolated.
Okay.
And there are these breakpoints that I said. So 12:30 is one. Tomorrow morning could be another one, and in the end is the third one where we actually work. But if people who don't have the necessary skills work on teams that they don't have the skills to work in, then we won't get anything done. So right now, the most important thing is getting things done. Any other questions? Yeah.
I think that's a great question. At least some of us, yeah, I think most of us that come here to understand the whole process. We may not do every one of them, we're trying to get a good idea of, yeah, how is the development done?
Sure.
Things like that. So if there's some way to interact.
I think what would be great is, if someone will just, from each team, just walk up to the development team or marketing team and say, guys, can you just walk me through what you're doing right now? Okay, but make sure it's not, everybody's migrating. So if you do it in a controlled manner, I think that would be very, very helpful and powerful and with learnings. Anything else?
Or maybe we could have office hours.
Yeah,
So for
like touch
example,
point and
so
then.
that like,
Yeah.
if somebody has questions, then they can come by,
Next week.
at that time.
Yeah, I mean, that's, I think the combination of that is what
Charlie,
we
can we have a touch point, the time wise, and then 10 minutes or something, everybody come back here and kind of.
So 12:30 is the
12:30.
first one.
12:30,
Okay.
And then
We're gonna start off with
12:30.
developing, thinking about digesting what we just talked about, thinking about how we're gonna manage that. Okay. 12:30, I want to hear,
We're
get
good.
everybody together. Okay, I'll manage it. Could be half an hour here or there, and we'll get everybody back together and kind of see what the strategy team is going to lead this. Okay, so they're going to say, okay, this is how we're going to go about it, and the development team is going to focus on that, marketing on that. So there's going to be a bit more interaction at this point, and all the others according to the schedule.
So obviously the development team pretty much is waiting for the product, whatever the specs come out of the strategy, right? Or whatever the marketing. So what will the development team will be doing?
No,
Think
I
about-
think there are a lot of things that can be
Yeah.
done.
Think about all the things that are generic.
Hmm.
Create the concept.
Fair, fair.
You'll have a lot to do. I think they're gonna be quicker than you.
There we go. Priya is the lead for the develop team.
Go ahead.
Tanya, just going back to the very first thing we said. It'd be good to think of this as really real. We are a company of 20 people, developers, UI, UX, marketing, strategy. It's real.
Yeah.
You do this, who knows, this could become a real business, right? So my question to you is, of course, that's something, it's a good mindset to have. This is real. We are a company, call it whatever, right? You have done these things before. What were the outcomes generally? Have people actually gone on to do this?
That's a good question. So I've been to a few hackathons where they actually made it. They actually made a product. Okay, they built something, usually a mock-up with some logic behind it. Went to people outside and said, "Did you use it? Let me know what you think." And we got real feedback out of it. But these were about, I would say, 50% 15 to 20% of the teams. Most of the teams have, how do you say, their motivation dips. It will happen to all of us tomorrow, okay? Where everybody says, oh, there's so much work to be done, and there's nothing to do, and please be healthy adults and put stuff together and get it done. But usually, people, if they don't manage their time together, what happens 80% of the time is they don't make it. Okay, and this is a very realistic outcome here, and I really want to avoid it. It's very tough. I mean, everybody here who started a company knows how difficult it is to build something. You answer one question, 5 come up. Okay, and this can be a very demotivating process. Okay, so you need to be able to manage your expectations, your morale, and your I would say, energy in order to go through that demotivating process in order to make it. Because otherwise, you'll be one of those 80%.
I had a quick question. How is the problem defined? Every person would see it as different. Now, who would be the most contributor or mostly in this perspective?
So you're talking about the problem definition.
Yeah, because you validate customer depending on how you see the problem.
Yeah.
So I see a problem that somebody else might see differently.
So I would say go about it like this. Okay. If you have a better idea, okay, argue. Okay. If you can't convince everyone, okay, or the majority of us, okay, we're going to stick with this. Otherwise, we're going to do whatever you think. I'm not saying this is perfect.
No,
I'm just saying this is sort of a baseline to keep everybody in line. Okay? I really think this is kind of the thing you should debate or brainstorm at the beginning of the session. That's kind of the goal of the immediate time that we're going to allocate. Any other questions? These are good questions, by the way.
I'm not sure if you were questioning the idea, you were questioning the
problem definition.
Problem definition.
The interpretation.
Because the solution depends on how you see the problem.
Yeah, I think the next level of the interpretation of that idea. Right, exactly. Right? Because like, I think she's right. She's saying, I could see that problem defined differently.
Solved differently.
Solved differently.
Yeah.
And now, so I think her real question is, of the 4 teams, which is the one that sort of starts to really say,
strategy.
this is it, guys.
Yeah, I would say the strategy team.
You like it or not, this is what we're going to do.
So I mean, what I don't want, I do want you to question this. I would say, just for the sake of the structure that we're giving here, let the product be the product and redefine the problem if you think, okay? Because a realistic outcome from what you're saying is, okay, if this is the problem, there's a completely different solution. So now let's not build a marketplace. Now let's build something completely different, and that's going to spin us out of control. Okay, so redefine the problem if you need. stick to the just for the structure that we have here. So it also applies to real life, by the way. Just kidding. Anything else? Great. So let's get started. Good luck.